Dugu, and welcome to the Four Takes Movie Podcast. My name's Martin.
I'm David.
I'm Luke.
And I am Adam.
Indeed he is. And today we are talking about the 1991 movie Double Impact, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme, directed by Sheldon Leach. It's a movie.
I would debate that.
Before we crack on, I always do a little bit of segue about things I've seen recently. I've seen 2 movies in the last couple of days, 3 including Double Impact. I went to see that Jurassic World Rebirth on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Poor, I thought. Not impressed at all.
There's a lot of hype over that, though, isn't there?
It's a Jurassic anything movie. It's going to be a lot of hype over it. I just feel, go see it yourself. It's worth seeing any movie at the cinema to support cinemas and movie making art. But not great. And I went and saw
Not great.
and I went and saw Superman last night in the IMAX at the Metro Centre.
Please say that was good.
I enjoyed that.
Oh, good.
It was very much, I think James Gunn is great at ensemble pieces. He's about having big casts with lots of moving parts and stuff like that. So it does feel like there's a lot going on, but it's fun. It's totally different in tone to a lot of what's happened, what's come previously with like the Snyderverse and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And all the Snyder, fans are going mental about it and trying to tank it. But it's not a bad movie. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's light. It's bright. There's loads of action in it. It might be a bit too much action, but
is it colourful?
It's very colourful. There's no shrinking away. There's no like dark scenes. I'm pretty sure it happens at night.
Is it closer to Christopher Reeve's sort of Superman? Or?
It's closer, I would say, to, I don't know if you've ever seen the Serial back in like the 50s.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where he says, oh gosh, oh golly, and stuff like that. He's all like that. He's like the comics, like the really early comics.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
Worth a watch.
Could I take my mum to see it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think my mum would like to see Superman.
She would.
There you go. Mum did. Mm-hmm. Get it to the IMAX then.
It's a 12, isn't it? A 12 year?
Yeah.
Probably, aye.
It is, yeah.
You all right for kids?
Oh, yeah. I'm not the person to ask about this because I was watching, when I was young, I was watching everything. My mum and dad very rarely stopped me watching a movie.
No, it's a 12 year. I was looking at the listens last night.
So I'm not the one to judge, but there's a couple of swear words in it, but they're not like harsh swear words. They're like shit. And I say Lex Luthor in this movie's nasty. I feel he's nasty. Mm. Like you make some like mean, vindictive decisions in it.
I love Gene Hackman in the Christopher Reeves one. He was absolutely fantastic.
He's great, but I would say Nicholas Hoult has really done well in the role here.
I like Nicholas Hoult. I watched him in Renfield. That was a film I watched recently.
With Nicolas Cage's Dracula.
My God, what a fun film that is.
Yeah, what's that?
whether in the like support group,
yeah,
and he's going, yes, I'm in a toxic relationship with me boss.
Solid, yeah. So well worth a watch. Let's do it. So Double Impact. I kind of have fond memories about this. I watched this when I was younger, and it was a film. Jean-Claude Van Damme was massive back in the day, and this was kind of like at the peak of his fame. He's only a couple of years off Bloodsport at this point. I think this is the same writer of Bloodsport. Even though I know, I can objectively say this is a poor film. It's not I personally think it's not well written, but I love it. I love how easy it is for Jean-Claude Van Damme to break a person's neck. He hardly has to try.
It's probably worth going through and just sort of giving our listeners a bit of an update as to what the entire story of Double Impact is, because we're obviously talking about things that...
Summarise it, Adam. Summarise
it. Let David summarise it. He summarised it quite well in that Signal message he sent out the other night.
So the story is a family invests in a hole in the ground, also known as a tunnel, and the triads kill the family because they want the tunnel. And everybody dies apart from 2 twins. And these 2 twins are estranged and are raised in different parts of the world. But they come back together.
But they both come back together and they've both got French accents.
They come back together with French accents and then decide that they want vengeance and they want to reclaim their birthright, being the hole in the ground. But then they discover they've got no legal right to it, but decide to go on a killing rampage and kill all the triads, because movie. And that's the film.
And a good time was had by all.
There's just some weird things going on in this film. I mean, you can't say it's badly written because, as far as I can tell, there's no script. And there's some inconsistencies in it as well. Like the fact that blood packs go off when people get shot and then they're still shooting away and they haven't realised they're being shot. And the actors were meant to react.
I noticed a couple of times there were people shooting who had clearly been shot but had not been shown being shot yet. Yeah. And then later you'd see them get shot.
Yeah.
So you're just still shooting while your blood packs have already gone off and you're just using the footage.
So what I was saying, it's got bad script writing, bad editing.
But it's not just
bad continuity.
It's not just that. There's a scene in the film where he's running and he runs from, I think he's running towards outside, and as he flings the door open, there's a part where it's just the stage set, and you can see through the door, you can see the stage set, but then the camera pans outside, and then you can see, the
street in Hong Kong.
The street in Hong Kong. So it's like one was obviously filmed on set, and the other one was filmed in the streets of Hong Kong.
But yeah, the continuity is all over in this. I mean, even in the first part of the movie, there's a gunfight where there's an ambush happens between triads and like this family.
I enjoyed that part.
Yeah, and I thought that it starts well, I personally think. Although when you see that tunnel being opened at the beginning, if you look at the tunnel, it's just a painting. There's like a painting of a curve and tunnel going down the thing. It looks like a curve and tunnel going into the distance.
Like an
just
Acme,
a painting.
like an Acme
it's
tunnel.
It's an Acme tunnel, yeah. The Roadrunner put that together. Right.
One of the things I was wondering, they keep going on about this tunnel, that...
How they're going to make money from this.
How they make money from it?
The only thing I can think of is like the Tyne Tunnel where they're charging people £2.50 a time to go through.
There was no toll. It was a hole in the ground.
That's what most tunnels are.
That was the MacGuffin for the film, wasn't it?
That was the MacGuffin for the film, yeah. So
can I talk about the very, 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 very start of the film, which set the tone for the whole entire thing for me? It was the helicopter shot coming into Beijing or wherever it was.
No, it was Hong Kong. Right?
Hong Kong, sorry. And it was the camera must have been tied on the bottom of this helicopter with an elastic band or something, because it was bouncing around everywhere. And I was just thinking, God, this looks terrible. I remember you showing us Double Impact when we were kids, as an 8-year-old, or however old I was. I was like, this is great, this. But watching that, I was like, it looks a bit pony, this.
Because you're used to image stabilization now in everything you watch. So
is the music on the opening of that the same music that's on the beginning of Rush Hour?
No.
Ooh, I don't know.
It sounds very similar.
We'd have to do some research, but I don't know. I can't imagine it would be. But I know what you mean, because obviously that starts in Hong Kong as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's we can all agree that it's not a well-written movie. We can all agree it's not a well-shot movie. It's not a well-edited movie.
Continuity is terrible.
Well, there's, as I say, about that gunfight at the beginning, the bodyguard shows up and he starts shooting with like this, I don't know, a 1911 pistol or something like that. And he switches at one point to a revolver. He picks it off the ground. It's like he's one of these dead triads. And then about 3 or 4 different shots from that point. Every time he pulls a gun, he's got a different gun in his hand. Every time he pulls a trigger, it's like, it's a 1911, it's a revolver, it's a 1911, it's a revolver, and it's like, how man, pick your gun.
So, that's the editor's fault, that.
But that's the same in talking about a really excellent film here. Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, in that bar fight at the beginning, where the guy burns his hand and gets half of the... Yeah. If you watch that, he's got a different gun every time he's pulling the trigger.
I would like to say I thought Jean-Claude Van Damme did an awesome job at being 2 different characters.
I totally agree.
That was the best part of the film. This tells
his
you everything
cocky pretty boy and his bad boy with a slick back hair. Because all you need is a leather jacket and a bit of slick back hair, and you're a bad boy.
But I mean, what tells you everything you need to know about the movie when the best part of the movie is Jean-Claude Van Damme's acting?
but to be fair to him, I think that his point was probably trying to get as many roles as he possibly could off the back of double impact.
And like Bloodspot and stuff like that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, he's obviously trying to show off his range and that he can act. And I think that was a great piece just for him.
I don't know what he was. I don't know the motivations behind doing the movie. But it's just
double pay.
I honestly think it's just fun.
The thing is, I think when he was younger, he took himself very, very seriously. But now he's like mellowed.
What year was this come out again?
1991.
So this is actually after all the Arnold Schwarzenegger stuff, and
I mean, this is the same year as Terminator 2. Pretty sure 91 was Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm. The film runs for about 1 hour and 50 minutes, right? Which is really quite long for a film, right? But you think about it, and a lot of the film is heavily built on action scenes and stuff like that. And I'm not going to lie,
it's not going to be built on story that much, is it? I mean, there's a bit of story, but it's all about the action. I mean, let's be honest. It starts with an action scene. There's a bit of an introduction scene in regards to these two different people who've grown up to be different people, but the same people with exactly the same accent. And then they talk about the tunnel. We don't know about any legal rights. The girl in it, the love interest, she's like, "Do you have any paperwork to back this up?" And he's like, "Listen, girlie, I was there. That's all you need to know." Right. And then the other one's like, "Do you want to go have a look in the office and see if you can find some paperwork?" "Yeah, I'll do that. In the meantime, let's have an action scene."
Yeah. So all the action scenes that are done, to be fair to whoever, produced it, I'm not sure who the production teams were, but
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, you're not wrong. So it was produced by Jean-Claude Van Damme and a couple of others.
But I think...
And the screenplay was by Jean-Claude Van Damme and another.
You generally get the feeling that there were certain points of it where the production was really good for a space of about 4 to 5 minutes in certain scenes.
That opening scene, I think, is great. That opening action scene where they're being ambushed.
The scene at the beginning was phenomenal. Where the bloke's driving the car. It's like one of the best car chase things I've ever seen in any movie. And the reason why it was so good is because you look at that and you go, "That was not fake. That was just some bloke."
Yeah. Well, a lot of this movie is of the time, isn't it? They have to do these things practically. They have to blow things up. There are squibs going off on people's chests and stuff like that. They are like, crashing cars or pushing Mercedes into the sea and then setting them on fire.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that bit.
And there are Hong Kong police patrol boats chasing them, and they've got like an abandoned hotel where they've got a scene on a private island, and it's like this
for no reason.
There's big set pieces in this movie.
See, it wouldn't surprise me if we researched this and found out that they ran out of money whilst they were making this film.
I don't think so. I think it's just of its time. It was that type of movie. It was a Van Damme movie. It was his vehicle for promotion, obviously, and it's just, and like a lot of his other movies in this period, it is just like a straight action movie with. You don't need to go too deep into it because it's just about kicking ass and shooting people.
Did he have any big hits before this?
Bloodsport was probably his biggest.
I haven't seen that one either. This is the only Jean-Claude Van Damme film I think I've seen.
Bloodsport's a good movie, to be honest. I mean, in Bloodsport, the main sort of villain, the main fighter who's against him at the end is the same guy who's in this, who's the one who got shot in the cheek at the beginning.
Shaped like a triangle.
Shaped like a triangle, that guy.
Yeah.
The biggest Chinese fella you've ever seen.
I actually, when I saw him, I went, "Oh my God."
Was he in Big Trouble in Little China?
No,
I have no idea.
I know what you're thinking about. You're thinking one of the Fates or something like that.
I've seen him in other things, and I can't put because I saw him and I was like, it's that fella, and I couldn't remember what else he'd been in.
That's that fella.
The weirdest shaped man I've ever seen. He's shaped like an absolute unit, right?
He's like a fridge, isn't he?
He took his shirt off, and then he went, "He looks muscly," and then I looked at him again and went, "He looks fat." He just looked. It was just a weird shape for a fella.
But I kind of like him. He's and everything I've seen him in, he always plays a bad guy. So I can't remember if he was in Kickboxer or Bloodsport, but he was in one of them. But
is it my imagination that he always ends up with a milky eye with whatever film he's in, or has he got a milky eye? I don't think he had a milky eye at the beginning.
Well, I don't think he did, and then he got shot in the cheek, didn't he? And now he's got a milky eye since then. But I don't know about him in real life personally, but. Yeah, he seems to be a lot of the crew who were in that movie seem to work on previous movies that they're on. So they're all like working together to create these like semi-reasonably budgeted movies. I mean, this movie had a budget of like 15 million, which I suppose if you think about Terminator 2 came out in the same year, that had a budget of 100 million.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can tell. There's no doubt about it. But still, it was a successful movie. I think it's fun, even though it's daft. But you can objectively watch a movie that's poor and still have fun watching it.
I've Googled it.
Go on.
Bolo Young.
Bolo Young.
We should give him his name, seeing as though we're talking about him for yes, there's a picture of him here looking absolutely hench.
Yeah,
That's the guy.
You would not want to slap off him.
How old's he now?
79. He must be like...
He would slap you into mainland China. He would.
he must be the equivalent of like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But yeah, the movie progresses on at a decent pace, I think. There are plenty of action scenes. It moves on from like a little... You've got the ambush scene at the beginning, then you've got like a little like a deal gone wrong for two Mercedes. Then you're into like they're attacking a port or so. Oh no, one of them gets like kidnapped and then beaten up in a shipping container by Bolo. Mm-hmm. And then they go and attack a port, and then there's tours and throwing, the bad guys start to try to find them. They get some paperwork. They actually get paperwork proving the legal ownership of the
tunnel.
See, David, there's legal ownership there, so they can get some money. I don't know. And then there's a to and fro, and people get kidnapped, people get tortured, lots of necks get broken, and lots of squibs go off.
I think it's important to sort of put across the point of, well, if anybody does go to see this, that this is a film that
not on the cinema, you'll have to buy it.
Yeah. So anybody like I'll go to a friend's house, says it. But there's absolutely no CGI in this whatsoever, and
no, there's not.
This is all practical, and
it's a really good demonstration of what practical effects can do, and it's all about the editing. So it's all about the person behind looking at the footage and editing it to make in the film, because there is a lot of use of sort of green screens to get the doubles.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
so actually, that was good.
And
for the most part, there was a couple of scenes where there's one scene where they're sitting on a couch together where it's obvious. That, yeah. It's obvious, but the rest of the scenes where they're in the same room together,
so you can see the matte lines, can't you?
Yeah, on that particular scene. But the rest of it is not bad. I mean, for the majority, they're facing each other, so one person's back of the head is to the camera.
There's a scene at the end where they're standing literally at the very end of the movie where they're looking at each other.
They hug each other. Yeah.
And I was like, that didn't look particularly good, but 95% on screen together, it looks perfect. You wouldn't question it.
Yeah, and I think that's a big shout out to whoever edited that, because that was I thought I was really good editing, even though because it's a tall order, like to say, I'm going to have this person on screen twice, and you've got the time it takes to go through and match all that editing up. That's probably why the film is so long, because you kind of, when you're editing stuff, you lose sense of how long stuff is.
It's not crazy long though. I mean, 1 hour and 15 minutes is not like.
I think
how long do you think it would? If you took the action scenes out, how long do you think the movie would be?
I think you're talking about 40 minutes. by the time the action scenes come out.
You'd be surprised. The beginning of the movie, the opening scene was quite a long opening, and also the beginning at the church where the baby's being left and the little opening backstory. That was at least half an hour. So there was...
No. I was looking at when I was watching it this morning. From the very start of the movie, from the ambush to them being left, to them finding each other again, and then going on that first mission where they're trying to sell off these Mercedes on the back of the ship. It's 20 minutes exactly.
Is it?
20 minutes exactly. Whipped along. And I kind of like how they've tried to put other things in it. It's not just like a revenge thing as well. There's also a little bit of conflict going on between these two twins, because obviously there's a girl involved as well.
Yeah.
And the girl mistakes one of the twins for the other twin and basically gropes him in the back room of some seedy bar. Basically puts her hand down his pants and what does he say? Keep going. Big supplies, huge supplies. And it's like, oh God, it's creepy as hell this. And then all of a sudden, Jean-Claude Van Damme #2 turns around and
badass Jean-Claude.
Nuts Jean-Claude Van Damme #1.
We're gonna have to have names as like Badass and Pretty Boy.
Badass and Pretty Boy. Or Chad and Alex, I think that's probably
Chad and Alex.
Chad is the pretty boy and Alex is the bad boy. And then there's like, throughout the movie, there's this bit of conflict going on between whether this lass kind of little bit likes Chad. And then there's a scene And it's not even a real sex scene. It's an imaginary sex scene. So Chad has had to whip off this island that they've got. You know, they've got basically their own island, and he has to go and try and get the love interest out of a bad situation. But no one knows where he's gone or why he's gone. Mm-hmm. So Alex rings up his barns and finds out that they're together in the back room where they've sort of like gone to hide, but the call is cut off because the bad guys show up. So Alex now starts drinking and he starts thinking, these two are having an affair. So as Chad's trying to get this lass back to safety, he's having this imaginary freak out that they're basically having sex.
Yeah.
Right? So this whole imaginary sex scene actually happens on screen. That's playing out in his head while he's drinking. For a long time this sex scene goes on for. And it's like there's no need. I get it. It's this sort of movie, and there's always boobs in this sort of movie. But there was that boob scene went on for a long time.
I mean, it got the point across.
It very much did. This guy is letting his imagination run away with him.
It wasn't subtle about trying to make the point.
I think at some point during the writing process of when Jean-Claude, are you sure this is absolutely necessary? Yes, it's absolutely necessary.
Have you seen it? Yes, it's necessary.
I've got an actress lined up to play this. Yes,
that used to happen a lot. Apparently in movies, where someone would get cast and then someone would go, "What we need is a sex scene."
Yeah, but it's like, it wasn't even a real sex scene. It was an imaginary sex scene that happened in someone's mind. And then all that led to was a fight scene between the two twins.
Yeah.
Which actually I thought was extremely well edited because you've got to realize this is Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme in a relatively cheap movie in the early 90s, and it didn't look terrible. It didn't look like there was like too much bad editing and stuff like that. So it led to quite an interesting fight scene. But yeah, what a totally unnecessary scene and a prolonged scene for that actress.
And another thing about that scene, which I thought was quite interesting, and is it Alex, the bad boy?
Alex, the bad boy. Yeah.
Alex, and his character, he drank a lot of neat alcohol, and there was in that bottle, and there was a bit in it where he blows whiskey out of his nose.
He does. He goes, "It's tea. It'll be tea."
I mean, that's no good for your sinuses.
It's not only that. It's like you watch it, right, and you're sitting there thinking he's literally drank about 3/4 of whatever whiskey it was, and I'm assuming,
and
like,
he's still competent, and
he's still coming. And not only that, the next day he's back up and he's fighting, and I'm sitting there thinking,
he does wake up on a beach with a bottle floating in the water next to him.
But I mean, you wouldn't even be able to stand, would you?
I don't know. I'm not Jean-Claude Van Damme.
But looking from the girl's perspective, you've got Alex, who is possibly an underworld mob boss, heavy drinker, violent, and then you've got
underworld mob middleman type of thing. He's like a facilitator type of thing. He's like dodgy dealings.
I mean, by the end of it, he disposes of the triad. Had Quadruple Impact come out after this, he would have been
the court case,
the guy that was the kingpin, you know. But it didn't make sense that you would end up with the bad boy when Chad turns up and he's health fanatic, clean living.
Yeah.
Very nice, and stayed with the alcoholic villain, basically.
Yeah, I think we all saw which way that was going to go. But I don't think Jean-Claude Van Damme was that bothered because either way he wins.
But yeah, I mean, and then they have this final showdown at the end where they've got to rescue Frank and I can't remember the girl's character name.
Danielle.
And then basically they have to go to this port and then they have to rescue the two, and it ends up in like a big final confrontation with Alex going after the triad boss and Chad going after this evil British guy who's behind it all. And then basically having a big showdown, and then they have the win, they kill everyone, they save the day, and it ends with Alex giving Chad a hug, and then Alex hugging his girl. The final shot of the movie is giving him the old okay sign, And that's it. It just freezes at that point, and then starts, and then cue 80s synth music like that.
Yeah, I did like how it ended because I don't think there are many films that will ever end like that ever again.
Like that. I've got nothing else to say about it unless everyone does.
I thought that it started off really strong. They could have built up the peril between the dad character, Frank.
Yeah,
Frank was the bodyguard and also the best friend of their parents. So he ended up looking after Chad, and I think it would have been better to have developed that relationship more, so there was more peril involved at the end where he gets
he's getting tortured.
Do you think that was to do with
because they could have had some nice sort of like interpersonal moments where it was just a case of come on Frank, I've got you, and then they got out of there but you know they could have leaned a bit more into like the father-son dynamic that they would have had. Because he raised them. He raised them from a baby. He raised Chad, so he should have been more protective over Chad than Alex, and Chad should have felt a lot more for Frank than it seemed he did in the film, and I think that would have took it up a notch.
Yeah. That probably leads us to where we usually finish best part and worst part. So I think best part is definitely the opening ambush scene. I think it's great.
I think everybody's going to say that.
Yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. It starts so well. I was like, oh, this is it. And probably the worst bit, I think, is, there's so many. But not in a really bad way. It's just, there is so much cheese in it. It's got to be the continuity of some of the shots. People are already clearly being shot and they're still fighting. The squibs have already gone off and they're still fighting. And then you see the squigs go on later. It's got to be the editing and the continuity. Yeah. In some scenes, it's just is bad.
I mean, I would give the opening act of the movie 4 out of 5 stars. The rest of the movie, I would give 1 star. The
beginning's his favourite bit, and the rest of it's the worst.
90% of the script and the story is in the opening act. The rest of the movie is just karate chops.
I think considering the budget was 15 million for it, right? And back then, hell, had been an eye-watering amount of money. I think a lot of the money probably got spent on the editing side of things, and I think, to be fair, for the time and doing all of that and going back over it, I think that was probably one of the best parts rather than the worst. But I also think there are things where we look at it and go, nowadays you have like continuity people on set. You know, there's no you hear about it time and time again with just like continuity errors being the biggest issue now with films because they're going, that's wrong, she's holding a Costa coffee cup or whatever, or in the set and it shouldn't be there, or
I think they spend a lot more on the practical effects than they ever did on editing in this movie, mate.
Because you've got there's the boat, there's the island, there's the helicopters,
there's the travel. I mean, they shot it in LA and they shot it in Hong Kong. And I love that because it's like it's.
Do we ever see any outside shots of LA?
Well, apparently they did. So
I think you might have seen one or two, but I agree because the shots of Hong Kong looked amazing.
No, worst bit, they kill a friggin' frog on screen.
Oh yeah, they're doing the market.
Yeah, there's a bit where I understand. In different places of the world, they cook different types of food and they'll do it right in front of you. But there's a very small scene in this movie where they're sitting in a market and someone picks a live frog out of a bucket, chops its head off and slices it in two. And it's like, what, 2 or 3 second scene? And I'm like,
I must have missed that.
Well, I doubt the like downtown Hong Kong looks like that anymore.
No,
like,
I get that.
Like near the docks, or like so. If you want to see what life in Hong Kong looked like in the 90s, just watch that part of the film. But but the people who were in the streets as well, they were all obviously watching this film being recorded, and you can see them standing. Watching on the side of the street, watching Jean-Claude Van Damme running down the middle of the street, and they're all just watching and sort of like clapping and stuff like this. But they're supposed to be just milling around being like, extras.
Yeah.
But obviously everyone's come out of the houses and they're watching this film, getting recorded in the streets, and it's like if you look at them, you can see that they're not extras; they're all actually just real people.
I'm saying they might not have been extras. They probably shot a lot of that movie like guerrilla style. Just
Yeah.
Oh,
so it makes you wonder
it.
that abandoned island they were on. Did they have permission to be there?
Yeah. Aye.
Because there's quite a large scene in that point where like ships are like little dinghies are like full of like these paramilitary people are storming it, like trying to find these people. But who knows? We can only assume they had all the right permissions.
Yeah. Mm.
But I doubt it.
But yeah, if anybody has the opportunity to watch this film, and I would recommend it's definitely a watch. David would probably suggest otherwise.
I enjoyed it. It's an enjoyable film.
It's if you've got an hour and 50 minutes to spare, it's definitely one you can watch and tick off and say.
If I was to say if you've got an hour and 15 minutes to spare, you're better off cleaning the oven.
I don't want to clean my oven. Now we got to talk about what film we're watching next.
Well, it's the anniversary of Jaws, isn't it?
Right, cool. 1975, it's 50 years old.
Bloody hell. I didn't think it was that old.
Budget of $9 million.
You can...
See?
Yeah, but that was like, what, 16 years before Double Impact?
15 million for Double Impact.
9 million for Jaws, 15 million for Double Impact.
Oh, right.
Adjusted for inflation, it's probably not that much difference.
No, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. And it was quite a low budget, say a low budget at the time. I'm sure 9 million in 1975 was a lot of money, but it's a lot of money now. Yeah, they're probably comparable in regards to actual inflation, adjusted for inflation budgets. But it's a different type of movie, isn't it? There'll be a lot of... With Double Impact, there was a lot of practical explosions and squibs going off, maybe a bit of guerrilla filmmaking, whereas with Jaws, it's very much wide establishing shots and...
yeah.
Most of the money will have been spent on a giant shark, and basically for the
predominantly all that sort of stuff.
For the majority of the film, you're staring at the ocean.
I tell you
that's
what,
free.
That is a movie that does look good on 4K disc, because that was originally filmed in film, so they've been able to do a proper.
Which one?
Jaws.
Jaws. Oh,
Jaws looks good in 4K because it's been filmed on film with and when things are filmed on film, you can really treat them right when it comes to like converting them to like a 4K disc or something like that, or a Blu-ray transfer and stuff like that. They've recently brought out, or they're going to bring out, a 4K disc of 28 Days Later.
Mm-hmm. Now, wasn't that done on like camcorder or something?
Something like that. I'm sure it was filmed in 480p.
I think it was filmed on a
Canon or something like that.
Yeah, on a normal sort of handheld, cheap camera, and the idea was to get that real,
like found footage type of thing.
Aye. And the new one that they've just done was all shot on an iPhone, I believe.
They were shot on iPhones, but I've seen like images. They're not shot using just an iPhone. They've got rigs around these iPhones with like professional lenses attached to them.
Like 50 grand's worth of lenses on them.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not. You can't just go out there and film like this with an iPhone.
To go back to the budget of Jaws.
Yeah.
9 million in 1975. If you adjust it for inflation till 1991. It's $22 million.
Right.
So a bit more than...
Double Impact was shot on less of a budget, really, in real terms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you think Jaws was all shot in America and on film, and then you look at Double Impact, which is shot in China, you assume would be... everything should have been a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because China at the time was like...
I wonder how it was filmed. That was filmed on videotape, maybe.
Because it didn't look like film.
No, it didn't. But yeah, I'm happy doing Jaws for the next one.
Yeah,
I'll see if we can get our special guest in.
It's been years since I watched Jaws.
I watched it about 6-7 months ago. I'll watch it again though. I'm happy with that.
That's us from the 4 Takes podcast.
I've been Martin.
I've been Luke.
I am David.
And I am still Adam. Have a lovely day.
Bye, everyone.
Ta-ra.
Bye.